Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at SoundWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, SoundWeb Studios is the answer. SoundWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@SoundWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. Now heard on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few networks coming soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear, and more. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with 2 terrific people, and one of them is the most successful, influential, and children's entertainer over the last 50 years and sold more than 15 million albums and music seen on 1 billion streams across the platforms, and recognized one of the most popular children's entertainer in the U.S. and Canada's all-time children's champion. And we have another lady who's an award-winning singer-songwriter and a mother of 3 children with autism from Massachusetts, and shares songs at local libraries and preschools, and launched popular Sing Along with Lindsay. And of course, we also have the gentleman who established the Raffi Foundation for Child that was honoring in 2010. We'll talk about that. And also have a new release called Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times. We can all use that, and a lot of great music. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, we've got a gentleman on the west, and we have a lady on the east, and we all come together. Ladies and gentlemen, with Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times, the very multi-talented and both award-winning Raffi and Lindsay Munroe. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you guys on board as well, too. So you guys have a new album and a new release called Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times, and we'll talk about that. And Raffi, you also have some music with singable songs for the very young, Baby Beluga, also Banana Phone, Dog on the Floor, and Lindsay, you also have I Am Kind and Frog and Birds, and we'll talk about those. And Raffi, you're also considered most successful, influential children's entertainer over the last 50 years and sold more than 15 million albums, and also music seen on 1 billion streams across the platforms. Also recognized one of the most popular children's entertainer in the U.S. and Canada's all-time children's champion, and established the Raffi Foundation back in 2010. Also award-winning author of a half dozen books. And Lindsay, you're award-winning singer-songwriter, mother of 3 children with autism from Massachusetts, and you share songs from local libraries at schools. And before getting to all that, guys, tell us how I first got started. So one of you go first.
Well, I'll go first. Back in 1974, on a rug on the floor in a nursery school, that's where I got my start singing for children. In 1976, when I made my very first album for kids called Singable Songs for the Very Young, it was so instantly popular that soon there were sold out concerts, Raffi concerts. Imagine that, I said to myself. And I was so moved by the early phenomenal response to that album that I then recorded a sequel, more singable songs. Then the following year, by the way, the first one had gotten to be a gold album by then. And the following year, I recorded The Corner Grocery Store. And then my 4th album, Baby Beluga. That was the album. That song about a little white whale on the go opened my career into performing all over the United States as well as Canada. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, if anybody wants to really know what my career is about, you can read about it in my autobiography called The Life of a Children's Troubadour. And most recently, I had the great pleasure of becoming friends and colleagues with Lindsay Munroe of Massachusetts, and I'll let Lindsay say how that happened.
Thanks, Raffi. Well, in 2019, I was performing locally at libraries and preschools and doing children's music, covering a lot of Raffi songs, actually, like the more we get together. And I met Raffi at one of his concerts. I took my daughter and we went to the meet and greet and we said hello to Raffi. We started talking about music and children with autism, like my 3 children. And Raffi encouraged me to try and write a song for children with the perspective, I'm a mother of autistic children. Why don't I write a song for them? So I did. I went home. I thought, oh, Raffi said I should try to write a song. Okay. And I wrote I Am Kind, which is the title track to my now first album. And I sent it to Raffi and he loved it, which was very exciting. And he encouraged me to keep writing. So I did. And I kept sending him songs. And then eventually Raffi offered to produce my album, which was amazing. And it's now an award-winning children's album. And it's just been quite an amazing journey. So much fun.
And Mike, in the last 3 years, this is hard to believe even when I say it, I had the pleasure of producing 3 albums with Lindsay. The first 2, I Am Kind and Frogs and Birds. And then this latest one that just got released recently called Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times.
Yes, indeed. And we'll definitely talk about that, especially when you need kinder times as well. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you guys into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Oh, that's a tough question to answer, but I'll try. I think for me, it was understanding that music for young children is important to do. For a singer-songwriter, it's important work because what it gives the young is a social way of learning about themselves and about the world around them, songs they can make their own. Children love to play, and if you offer them playful songs, in which they can hear that you respect them as a young audience, then they come to love the songs. And that's certainly been the case for me in my career. And now Lindsay has the opportunity to experience that as well.
Which is quite amazing. I mean, I grew up listening to Raffi's music when I was young. My favorite song was Baby Beluga. I was just obsessed. I mean, who wasn't obsessed with that song? But it's just to get to do what I do now and make music with Raffi and sing with him and use songs to promote kindness and inclusivity and acceptance. It's really just such an honor. I just love what I do.
And certainly indeed. And how did you guys first got interested in children's music or got involved?
Well, on my side, I used to be married to a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, and I was a folk singer to begin with in the 70s. And my then wife, she said, making an album for children might be just the thing. And then her mother was a nursery school teacher. So with those voices in my ears, I looked around and I found that there wasn't very much good music for young kids. That's what got me thinking, I think I can do this. I think I can offer something worthwhile.
That's really interesting. And then Lindsay, how about you? Well, Raffi and I have that in common, that I was also a folk singer before getting into children's music. And then I had my 3 children, and music is just such a part of their lives and our lives. We're always playing music and singing songs, listening to Raffi albums when they were growing up, of course. So it was just a natural fit for me to go from folk music to singing for children.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And what are some of your favorite kids songs of all time? Before, during, after, and everything. It's just like, even adults can sing too. So
Yep. Well, we've had tremendous influences and inspirations over the years and the decades. For me, Pete Seeger was a huge inspiration. I grew up singing his songs, and more recently, Mr. Rogers, whom I had the pleasure of meeting once, was an influence. I know that you, Lindsay, have enjoyed Mr. Rogers' songs for a long time. Isn't that right?
I love Mr. Rogers
Yeah.
songs and also Raffi songs. And Raffi and I sang The More We Get Together on my first album, I Am Kind. And my children added their voices to the song as well. And that was just such a special moment. So that was really wonderful.
And certainly is amazing too. You guys talked about your previous works as well too. We'll talk about Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times in just 1 minute, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Fergal's Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Oldies FM, Diamonds Radio, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books and merchandise and more. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with 2 terrific children's singer-songwriters here on the Mike Wagner Show with Raffi and Lindsay Munroe, and talking about their amazing experiences, how they got together, and winning some accolades and everything else. And you have a brand new release called Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times, also including 3 Kind Mice, Ring Around Sweet Roses, and London Rain is Falling Down. And tell us more about the latest album and what inspired you guys to write it.
Lindsay?
Sure. So Pam Gittleman is a wonderful educator. She's an early childhood music educator and part of the Harvard Advanced Leadership Initiative. And she came up with the concept of Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times. And she reached out to us to see if we'd be interested in singing these updated nursery rhymes. It's just such a wonderful concept to take these old rhymes that really have some dark themes, like 3 blind mice, cut off their tails with a carving knife. And
oh yeah, I remember that.
Transformed to 3 kind mice who help each other to get some cheese. So it's such a great thing to be able to change these rhymes for a new generation and promote kindness and acceptance and gratitude.
And Pam reached out to me and said, might you bring your musicality to these adapted nursery rhymes? Some of them will need melodies, and is there an album in the works here? And I looked over the material she sent me, and I really liked the adaptations. I only had to make some minor changes for cadence and such. And so I agreed to produce the album and to sing on it and to play ukulele. And I even played harmonica on one song, and I played bass. And it just got to be such a fun project. And let me tell you, Mike, anytime Lindsay sings on a song, you just light up hearing her voice. She has such a wonderful, it's not only a beautiful voice, it's been described as lovely, beautiful, and all of it is true, but her voice carries a compassion. It rings true. There's a purity. Her heart comes through, and I love her voice. So it was a joyful project for me.
Oh, thank you, Raffi. Well, likewise, your voice does all that. So that's such an honor to hear that. Thank you.
And very honorable indeed as well too. You also had Ring Around Sweet Roses and also London Rain is Falling Down. And tell us more about those. And if there's some other songs from the album you'd like to talk about, feel free to do so as well.
Well, instead of the bridge falling down, it's London Rain is falling down. That's a little gentler. Then there was, what was that lullaby, Lindsay?
Oh, Rockabye Baby.
Rockabye Baby, yes.
I
Oh,
love that
yes.
one.
So instead of, down comes baby cradle and all, is that the old lyric?
Yeah, was it Rockabye Baby, the cradle will fall?
That's it.
Oh gosh,
Right.
it was. Oh,
In this one, the cradle does not fall.
That's
Instead,
right.
the brother and sister peek in on the baby and read the baby a bedtime story. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
And no one has to be afraid. Right? It's just a very gentle, lovely lullaby.
I was thinking about London Rain is Falling Down as well too, and many of us could use the rain right now instead of having London Bridge, although it's been up for like what, thousands of years. It feels like that. Many of us could use a gentle rain and everything else as well too. And also getting back to some of the previous music, you had I Am Kind, Frogs and Birds, and Raffi, you talked about Baby Beluga that was really exploded. Also Banana Phone, Dog on the Floor, and maybe just tell us about some of the others as well too. If there's like a favorite album, favorite memory, favorite song you want to talk about, feel free to do so.
That's very kind. Thank you. Well, I've had gold and platinum albums for a long time now. In the digital era, we don't have that anymore. We have Spotify and all those, stream numbers. But I think what I want to say is it's a privilege for me to know that my voice is welcome in millions of families and that young children consider me a friend. What an honor that is. I think that's what I want to mention most of all is the work that I do not only keeps me young, but it feeds my heart.
Oh, that's certainly amazing. That's really appreciated. And my kids have listened to you, for quite some time. I've had kids for like, 25 years and everything else, and they're still young. They still love your songs.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
It is amazing. And Lindsay, feel free to jump in as well.
Yes, well, it's just been so wonderful making these 3 albums with Raffi and getting to learn from him. Such a wonderful mentor, teaching me all about the recording process and the songwriting process, and to have him produce my albums. It's just, we have so much fun doing it and putting out this music with positive messages. It's just such a wonderful thing to be able to do.
And certainly do. You also have some other ventures as well too, and you also have a sing along with Lindsay channel on YouTube, and Raffi, you also have the Raffi Foundation child honoring in 2010 as well too, and you're also author of a dozen books as well too. And tell us about your other ventures as well too.
I think I'll briefly mention the Raffi Foundation for Child Honoring. Child honoring is my own philosophy that I developed 25 years ago. And very simply, it's all about creating a culture of respect for all of us. Who doesn't want to feel respected? Well, guess what? Young children have a need to feel respected too. And child honoring says that how we regard and treat the very young in their earliest years, in their first experiences of life, that's the key to a lifetime of positive outcomes, not negative, constrained, fearful outcomes. You see what I mean? Positive, hopeful, creative thinking and living. That's the power of child honoring. How we regard the littlest ones in our culture is the key, because they're the universal humans. All cultures have young children. And guess what, Mike? This is the good news. A baby in every culture is exactly the same physiological human being with a heart that's the human heart. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, the standing of your family, your ethnic origin. None of that matters. It's your human heart that matters. And that's what child honoring celebrates.
That is such a good point. I feel like a child at heart already. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh. And also author of several books. And you also have a life of a children's troubadour. And tell us where we can find that a little bit more.
That's my autobiography, The Life of a Children's Troubadour. And I wrote it and published it in 1999 after both my parents passed away on the same day.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell that story, but it's the first story that begins the book. But it traces not only my career, but the origins of how my families came to live in Cairo, Egypt, where I was born. My Armenian family made its way to Canada. My father was a celebrated portrait photographer. So there are lots of stories, 75 photos in this book. Jane Goodall recommended it highly, I might say.
Oh my gosh, Jane Goodall of all people.
Yes, a dear friend. But I think what I want to leave you with, because I know our time is limited, is that what I invite your listeners to do is to go to raffifoundation.org, and there you'll find an online course in child honoring. It's about an 18 to 20 hour course, so it can be done in a couple of weekends or even one weekend if you really get excited about it. And the online course in child honoring gives you a sense of feeling that you can be empowered to be a change maker for good in the world. It celebrates the universality of the human spirit. And I call this course a primer in conscious living. So go to raffifoundation.org, click on Take the Course, and embrace child honoring for all the good that it can do in our world. We sure need it.
And we certainly would do so. And in the meantime, where can we find all your works at, guys?
I'm sorry?
Where can we find all your works at otherwise?
Well, certainly YouTube for Lindsay. Is that right, Lindsay?
Yes, you can go to lindsaymunroemusic.com and there's links
Right.
to my YouTube and all of my social media.
And for my music, it's available online in all your favorite online places or in your local music store if you still have those.
And the libraries too. That's where I got my music
Right.
back in the day too. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely.
And what's coming up for Raffi and Lindsay Munroe in 2022, we'll find out in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Widener Show, international war-ring author Mia Mostly of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the multi-talented Raffi and Lindsay Munroe after this time out. We're back with the multi-talented award-winning Raffi and Lindsay Munroe here on the Mike Widener Show. We talked about Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times. And what else can we expect from you guys in 2022 and beyond?
Well, I'm going to say it in 2 words, more music.
Yes.
There we go.
I think that's well said too. And who do you consider biggest influences in your careers?
Oh, my goodness. Where do I start? Frank Sinatra, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan. I mean, I could go on and on. Many, many influences. Too many to name, really.
Yes,
We got a
Frank
bit of time,
Sinatra,
Lindsay.
Joni Mitchell. Absolutely. Raffi and I share a very similar taste in music. So I would say yes to all of those. I would include Mr. Rogers and Raffi.
Certainly do so. That's such an amazing combination. What's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point?
Do what you love. Do it well. Don't pretend you're going to be perfect. Love who you are. Let it show.
That's very true. And Lindsay?
That is lovely. I would say believe in yourself, follow your dreams, and be kind.
And that's so important as well, too. Once again, we're with the multi-talented children's singer-songwriters, Raffi and Lindsay Munroe here on the Mike Widener Show. Talked about Nursery Rhymes for Kinder Times. Guys, a very big thank you for your time. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what your websites, how do people contact, where can people, once again, purchase and check out all your music at?
Thank you very much, Mike. In saying goodbye, I'll just remind your listeners to go to raffifoundation.org. That's where you'll find my second career in child honoring.
Okay. And Lindsay?
Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me, Mike. It was so much fun.
And where can we find you at, Lindsay?
You can go to lindsaymunroemusic.com.
We will certainly do so. Guys, a very big thank you for your time. It was absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. You guys have great futures ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.